Hey, I'm Paula, and I'm a work in progress. I also happen to be a therapist. Imagine if everything you ate tasted like uncooked tofu. Ugh, right? That's not so good. Tofu is great if it's cooked and prepared with other things, if it has some flavor to it. Sometimes with depression, the world comes to us in a way that's like uncooked, unflavored tofu. It's bland. Sometimes with depression, it seems as though the color is drained out of the world and everything is just blah. So, I want to talk about the idea of using your five senses to awaken and reduce your depressive symptoms. I'm not trying to say that by using your sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell that you're going to suddenly make your depression go away and everything's going to be fine and dandy. But what I am saying is sometimes using your five senses to awaken your mind and body can reduce depressive symptoms or awaken something in you that maybe is asleep. Let's start with smell, okay? Smell is one of the earliest senses that we develop, and it's amazing the way that smell sticks with us through the years. We can smell something, it can take us right back to a moment in time that we forgot even happened. So, I want to start with my own sitting here at my home office. My daughter made me these really cute little clay hearts. And I love these because what I do is I take my I've got lavender essential oil, I put them on the hearts, and it kind of diffuses this beautiful smell throughout the room. And lavender, just it's a potent, powerful smell. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm in the love category. Using your sense of smell can be a powerful way to reconnect emotionally. So for me, lavender, I love other smells, of course, like fresh cut grass, vanilla, sandalwood. What are the smells that you enjoy? Seeking out smells that you can keep in your home. Even coffee grounds just smell amazing. I have a cup of coffee here. Gotta love that. So, taste, if we're going over to the sense of taste, there are obviously multiple ways you can invigorate your sense of taste. Grabbing your favorite foods. It doesn't have to be in a pleasant way necessarily either, right? You can you can taste a fresh lemon that's very puckery and will immediately wake you up. um, you can go for salty, sweet, sour, but using your sense of taste and mindfully eating, slowly chewing, and picking up the undertones of food or drinks. Really being mindful, taking your time with it, and paying attention to every sensation that you're noticing when you eat or drink something. Um, for me, like a good sensory flavor experience is going to the co-op in Belfast. They have these molasses cookies that are really just to die for. They're squishy and soft, and they're the size of my head. And then I get a cup of French decaf coffee that's really dark and smoky. And there's really no better flavor combination to awaken my sense of taste than that combination right there. So, sense of touch can go in so many different directions, right? We have our physical sense of touch, like sensory things like massage can be good for that. That can be a great way to experience physical touch that's from another person that really awakens and soothes your soul. Really, it's just such a good experience. But things you can do in your daily life at home, even for me, I'm very much a person who loves rocks and shells and like pine cones, cool sticks. I'm very much a natural items kind of person. I found this shell in Florida a few weeks ago on a vacation, and just the texture of it just brings me joy. It's got this really corrugated, really nice texture, color, and shape. And part of the joy of touching things with this texture is the uniformity of it, right? The symmetry in nature that we see is often, it just blows my mind, like the perfection of things, the shape and smoothness of an egg, um, the shell, the way it spirals, fractals and pine cones, things like that just light me up. They're just so cool. And so look for things in nature if you're a person who likes that kind of thing. Textures, like the bumpy texture, the perfect the perfect way in which um, everyone is equal distance from each other, and it just creates a really cool pattern and texture. Um, Smooth rocks. A place that I love to go is Jasper Beach in Maine, and it's just a beautiful place with a lot of smooth rocks that just when the waves tumble through them, the sound. Talk about another multi-sensory experience. The sound of the water tumbling through the rocks is just beautiful. The smooth texture of the rocks. It's just a sensory bliss moment when you go to places like that. Um, Using cold water, if you're feeling kind of checked out, washing your hands in cold water, and splashing some on your face, that can feel really good as far as awakening when you're feeling a little bit checked out or numb. So yeah, there's a bazillion ways you can use touch. Holding an ice cube if you're feeling kind of checked out, you need a little bit of an awakening. It's getting into a hot tub, of water or a hot tub, taking a hot shower, anything that's going to separate you from the current sensory situation you're in and just giving you a little bit of a physical awakening. So let's talk about the sense of hearing. Hearing, I mean, we can, when we're diving into the sense of hearing to try to work through some feeling stuck or feeling numb or checked out, we can go to music, things like classical music. We can go to heavy metal. We can go any direction we want with music, right? Whatever it is that makes you feel connected to yourself or invigorated. I love disco, for example. Whenever I clean the house, I put disco on because that gets me going. I love disco. Probably because I'm a child of the 70s, but a lot of people from the 70s don't like disco. Anyway, I like it. Um, what kind of music can you put on that will help lift your spirits? Also, sounds in nature, birds, crickets, the peepers at night in the summer. That's a really beautiful sound. And you can just listen to the sounds around you as well. What if you sit quietly, what can you observe about the sounds going on around you? Do you hear, like, for example, for me right now, I hear my voice, I hear myself talking, but I also hear the sound of my laptop. I hear the whirring fan of that laptop. A little while ago, I heard my dog yapping in the background. I hear my phone making sounds. Um, I can hear the birds chirping. So, what kind of sounds do you hear outside of yourself and around you? Do you hear your breath? I hear my breath because I got allergies right now, so I can actively hear my breath as I'm pausing to take one. Um, but your sense of hearing can be a great way to work through some sensory stuckness or feelings of depression. Also, things like creating music can be a good way to not only use your sense of hearing to hear what you're playing, but also the sense of touch because you're engaging with a musical instrument. For example, a hand drum. I have a few hand drums at home, and I go to a drumming circle once a month. And the experience of hearing myself play with others and feeling the feeling of hand drumming, just a really beautiful sensory experience that I really enjoy. So, are there musical instruments that you could play or try? So that's again multi sensory experience there. Also, with drumming, the sensory experience, the vibrations that you feel. I have a friend who is deaf who obviously she is unable to hear the sounds, but she can feel the vibrations. And she's played before in past visits. She's played a singing bowl for me, and we had this beautiful shared experience of I could hear it and also feel the vibrations, but she experienced the sound through the vibrations. So, whatever sensory experiences you have access to, enjoy those. And vibrations is another way that you can experience that sense of hearing and touch, like a combined experience. The sense of sight is one that Okay, you can take in a million directions for reawakening and getting through depressive symptoms. So, what are your favorite colors? I love the color green. Like Kelly green is my favorite shade of green. What are your favorites? I also love purples and I love all colors, honestly. But sometimes experiencing, the colors of the world can be really important. Getting out some art materials to engage with color and put some color on a canvas or on paper can be a really great way to awaken your senses through color. Sometimes even looking at the way the light shines through things is a really powerful sensory experience. When you look at a leaf, for example, the way the light shines through that leaf, that can just be really beautiful when you're in the woods looking up through the trees, the way the sun shines through. Um, it can be, just looking at things in a little different way, um, using your senses intentionally to try to experience something a little bit different than what you're used to. What are some ways you can use your senses, your five senses, to find some joy, to wake you up, to experience the world in a little slightly different way today? I've shared some ways that I do that in my life. What are some ways that you engage your senses? Share below if you don't mind. Share in the comments some ways that you use your five senses to get through difficult moments, or just even if you're not getting through a difficult moment, how do you use your five senses in daily life to enjoy what you're seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching? If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have ideas for future videos, please feel free to share below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.